colours
Colours
of two certain pride flags for Mardi Gras next Saturday.
you're going to the parade?
I'm not going to the parade.
We have to go one year. I've never been with you.
Yes, it is good.
Yeah, I went with Mariah and Quinny's boyfriend when I was in Sydney, and it was really fun. We all dressed in fairy K and glitter. He even let us put glitter on him, and I was so excited.
I think when I went, was not there early enough, both times. So a lot of people, they're already on the sides, and then some of them have like milk crates that they're standing on.
That's so annoying. They put the milk crates at the front as well, and they stand up, and you're just like, why do you have milk crates if you're standing at the front? The milk crates is people who stand at the back. The short/average people, aka me and my friends, we stand at the front. You stand on your milk crates at the back.
And it's very crowded.
Yeah, it gets a bit wild. Like, I remember some interesting things last time I went. Good stuff. Won't go into that. Maybe one day I'll go into that, but not on stream.
Don't go on.
Don't go on, Lily. No. Be quiet, Lily.
All right, let's start. Okay, so shall we do a recap?
How do we do
of what happened last session?
Okay.
Of what happened last session?
Teen?
What happened last session? It was so long ago.
Wait, the teen shot or the actual last DC session?
The last DC session.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
I feel like Aylin might be the only one who has decent notes for it. Aylin, would you like to do it?
I'm trying to catch up. Yeah. It's taking a while.
I'm happy for Aylin.
Okay, let's just... Aylin, would you mind?
Okay. Here we go.
Aylin.
No probs. I did a quick refresher of this just before, just to make sure that I had it. So we pick back up. Bluey's in the common room of the unusual dragon. Neff has gone up to her the group room for a cry. Brian and Loran are in the seat at Sealy Court. Slya and Fernia go back to the tavern. Slya starts just letting everybody know, hey, there's going to be a wedding tomorrow.
The wedding was last session?
Yep.
Dang. Feels okay, that's weird.
So then Slya asks Neff to do the ceremony, which he agrees. Neff also confides a little bit about Osha, and then Slya and Neff go and be alone. Brian and Lorraine have a chat about Valis and maybe adoptions and things. Sorry, I saw Vine and I was like, what?
Be quiet.
Back with Bluey in the tavern, she meets somebody named a dragonborn named Farsa, and he's not from around here. And they kind of exchange some stories, and Bluey finds out that he was one of Captain Shamrock's original crew. And that's, he tells her an interesting story about love, specifically his wife and kid, and then tells her that if she ever needs somebody for an adventure, to look him up in the Axe. And Brian and Loran return to the tavern, and they have a discussion. Brian, Loran, Bluey, and Neff have a discussion about Mumsfisfald, Travertine, the hit list, and splitting up for a little while, like what everybody's going to be doing. We wake up early the next day, and waiting for us are Marlin, Marlena, Frederick, Baitan, Sarazer.
Aylin, one condition of this recap is that you have to sing all of the Loran song when it comes up.
Nope.
All improv, I want to say. Also, I'm frozen on my computer, so I think I have to restart it.
You for yourself?
So I'm just gonna, yes.
Because you're fluid for us. Yeah.
I can't use my computer. It's
Okay.
just frozen. I can hear you guys, but I can't see anything except just my
Oh,
frozen D&D screen.
That's
Hang on.
fun.
Ah,
Should we just keep going?
Yeah.
with the recap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it's
Okay.
just black.
All right, Emma, just restart. It's fine.
Sorry.
I guess Aelin, keep going.
From
Keep
the top.
keep rolling. Okay. So,
I'm still here.
Frederick thanks us for bringing his kids back. Anna and Ender are going to stay with him. Baitan's going to travel around the temples of the material plane to learn stuff. She and Brian have a conversation about the Lachey, and she is thousands of years old. That's cool.
She's an old lady.
So we go from there. We go to Ironstone for the wedding. On the way, Leia discusses Valis, or nope. Well, yeah, but Brian discusses Valis with Leia and adoption plans, and we learn that Ferenia is interested in kids, and we bring up the discussion of how children are made.
It's about time we had that discussion.
Mhm.
Yeah. We do that great teleport back to Ironstone. We pass the Loran's shop, Sobek's shop. Loran's business is booming. Sobek's shop is closed down, but Brian sees agents of the Werenbach going in, so he investigates that, does a scrying on Sobek. We learn that Sobek is alive, and with Geralt, we do a sending to Geralt and don't get a reply, but that is what it is. It's time for a wedding.
Time for a wedding.
It's time for a wedding, and before the wedding, naturally, Slaya goes and talks to her mother that she's going to the Underdark the next day because
That was a mosh.
yeah, naturally, and that's heartbreaking and upsetting and all kinds of emotional feelings, and Brian makes just so many flowers everywhere.
Story of Brian's life.
It's a beautiful wedding. The first song is Loran's song by Loran and
Lila?
yep,
Lyra. Lila even, yeah. Lyra.
Lila.
I'm sure he has an ex called Lyra as well.
She's from that, the Dark Materials, isn't she?
I
Lyra?
love that. That's what I was telling you about Thomas. Remember we went to that bookstore and the Dark Materials was there, and I was like, that's a good series.
Is there a character called Lyra in that?
It's a very good
Yeah,
series.
Lyra Balan.
There's also a pony who's mint green called Lyra in the show.
Well,
In
anyway,
a
moving
show.
on.
I love
the-
that my game is just forever tainted now. Okay. It's everyone's game for everyone to enjoy.
Except Brainy's.
Okay. Except who said
So
that?
we get
Where did those words
suitably
come from?
toasted. Except for Ferenia, who doesn't drink. And after that, we decide that was a great time to find out how babies are made. So we drunkenly teleport to Kaltarn and
Oh,
find
it was
out
beautiful.
from Neff's older siblings. We make a heck of an entrance as we go. Teach Padre how to go outside or the litter box. Litter box trained Padre. There we go.
Padre.
After that night, we all kind of we bid our goodbyes. We give lots of hugs and split up.
We look into the mirror and see the team one shot.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
We look into the mirror, see the teen one shot.
Only Brian and Loran see the teen one shot.
Brian has to resist pushing Loran off the carpet multiple times.
Sure. Love that. Okay. So, After the events of that day, everybody goes their separate ways. Some to Kalkan, some back to the Feywild, some to a prayer, all over the world. And you are away from each other for 6 months in total. Well, 5 months and 2 weeks in total. Now, let's start with Slya, because that's the first on my list. And you're the most immediate scene after after actually breaking up the party. So Slya, you arrive back in a prayer in Ironstone with Farinia, after learning how babies are made, after taking some time to say goodbye to your friends in Calcariat, and you know that you only have a limited amount of time left before you go to the Underdark. And Farinia brings you inside, and Friggin and Ulrich are sitting together, deep in conversation, clearly arguing over what's the best ore to use in I don't know, a sledgehammer or something. Like, what would make the strongest sledgehammer? I don't know. I think the strongest sledgehammer would probably be made from iron ore and all that stuff. Knowing that this is not how she wants to spend her last night with you before who knows how long, Frinia immediately leads you to the back room. Along the way, you pass your mother again, but instead of saying anything to you this time, she just smiles and says, "You look beautiful, Slya.
Thank you.
Have you sobered up?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful." And she kind of just looks between the two of you and is just like, "I know what's about to happen, and I'm going to go to the other side of the building." She goes and she settles herself between the two drunken, sort of like slightly arguing dwarves, and just sort of is quite content there. Frinia leads you back to her main room, and she closes the door behind you, and she says, "That was one hell of a day. Is that what your adventures are like all the time? Just going everywhere, anywhere, on a whim like that?"
Yeah. I mean, we have. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's for me, you know? If it's like library hopping, that I would be down for.
We've seen quite a few.
Let's recommend me some. You can tell that even though she's like acting quite relaxed with you, she is hesitant, and you think you can understand why. She's unsure now, given that you're going away, what to do and what to say.
I know you can't come with me on.
Yeah. Kind of sucks though. Just got married and all that. But from what I understand and what I may have overheard from your mum, your conversation with your mum was that this is the only chance you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to go. And you squeeze every ounce of knowledge you can out of that dish rag they call a society. Yeah. I think it's going to be a good time for you.
I don't know about that, but I do intend to learn as much as I can.
I think it's going to be a good time for you. Because even if it's difficult and even if you see things you would rather not have seen, the fact that you saw them means a lot. And I know you. And I know, even if it's completely different from what you imagined, you'll find something to gush about down there. Something that I'll be eagerly awaiting to hear when you come back.
I'll be eager to come back.
I know. But when you do come back, let's make a point to promise then that we'll settle down at some point and we'll spend some time here. And she just looks around like we used to. And we'll
It is
figure out whatever's next after that.
cave-like, isn't it?
I mean, if you push the boundaries
That was a pickup line.
of the word cave,
Oh,
I'm down with
it.
It
she
was
kind
an
of just
in-cave
scoots closer to
line.
you. She scoots close to you and is like, yeah, it is, isn't it? Fade to black. Okay. So, that night, the two of you are asleep, and you get a message from the Drow delegation. And it simply says, prepare yourself. We leave in an hour. Where are you now? We will come to you.
Can Slayer reply, where do I need to be?
The town hall. Meet there in an hour. The central chamber. And you know that's where the official teleportation circle of Ironstone is. And it is where you chased the gnome into long ago.
Slayer replies, I'll be there.
Okay. You have an hour.
She's gonna wake Fernia up.
Meh. She's got like a drool like on her cheek, and like her hair is kind of sticking to it. Like, what's up? What?
It's time. I have to go.
Do you want me to come with you?
Only if you think it's safe. I didn't want them to come here.
Will your mother go?
She shouldn't.
No. Dad's probably asleep.
Her down.
She shouldn't be alone then. I'll stay with her.
Thank you.
And she just hugs you for as long as you guys can. And eventually, you know, the time is running out.
Slayer's gonna. I mean, she's generally kind of living out of her bag, so she keeps
Mhm.
most things packed. But she, like her cloak would always be like hung up. She's just kind of
Mhm.
draw slight attention to it and be like, I'm gonna leave this here. I'll be back.
It'll be waiting for you. I will too. We all will.
So he gives her, another quick hug and kiss, and just heads to the town hall.
Okay. On your way out, Frenia kind of walks you to the door, and you see your mother sitting at the table. She hasn't slept. Eyes just waiting, looking out into the moonlight. Ulrich and Friggin are just passed out. Oh. Okay. Ulrich and Friggin are just passed out on the table, and she looks at you as you go. You can tell her eyes. While she's not crying now, they haven't been dry. And she just looks at you, nods, and stands up, giving you The biggest hug.
Slya returns the hug.
Be careful.
Oh, well. Be safe.
I will. All right. The walk to the town hall is peaceful. Ironstone is a lively city, but the streets you take have already gone to sleep. There's a comforting hum of life, the sounds of people jeering in a bar, the sounds of adventurers sneaking through alleyways, but that's all a few streets away from you. You're alone here. Shutters are closed, curtains pulled, drawn. The light of the central tower guiding your way. Other than a few torches every now and again, and the moonlight, that's all you can see. When you arrive, the door is shut firmly, but you get the feeling, no, you know, all you have to do is pull the door open, and everything will be waiting for you on the other side. You pull.
Yep.
The door opens. Easier than before. You're not out of breath this time, you're not chasing a gnome, but all those memories come flooding back to you, and you can't help but remember your friends. As you go inside, and you see the Drow delegation, you see representatives of the Apraean Council, and guards, and the door closes behind you with a click. All right. Slya heads to the Underdark
Yep.
and begins her life beneath the ground in Batar. You spend your first month there. Is there anything you would like to share about your experience in the underground then, with the others now?
Let me just quick check. Before, at some point during the daytime, like probably during like a meal break, while she was at Ferenius, she would have attempted to scry on Valis and
Yep.
gotten a.
I had that written down
Yeah.
as a failed scry. So if you want to explain that a bit more, then you can.
Wrong plane. Let's see. Slya just gets into the routine of all that stuff she's going to be doing for a whole 6 to 5.5, 6-ish months.
Would you like to share any of that with the group? Is what I'm trying to say. Like anything you learn in that first month, any people you meet. It won't necessarily be knowledge that they know, but if you would just feel like you want to share that kind of thing, that's also fine.
Okay. She has a routine. She's watched at all times. She has a handler named Arcadia Filfieri, and a lot of death. Sees people turned into driders. That's not so fun. Maybe that might be what is in store for Geralt.
Did you read the doc that I? Did you read the doc that I said? All of it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have a fun thing to talk to you about at some point. Well, something you might have figured out. Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay. That is a 14 plus intelligence 2, 16.
14 times 2. So.
Plus 2. Yeah.
So you experience the sort of first month, and one of the Dryder trials that you see pertains to one of the husbands of a high priestess who was unfaithful to their wife. And you learn through that how husbands are very much expected to remain faithful to their wives and are usually sacrificed if caught cheating. But on the other hand, if a powerful priestess takes a liking to another woman's husband, she can have him consigned to the sacrificial altar for having the audacity to refuse her favors. And for this reason, a lot of well-mannered or considered like good-looking or physically like powerful men often choose to disfigure themselves in order to protect their lives, or spend a long time away from the community in all-male hunter bands. And you kind of think back on all of the sort of male drow that you've met, and maybe except for Jaral, you didn't see a physical, on his face at least, a physical scarring. But Tholmir, you remember his whole face on one side just completely burnt. And it's just something that strikes you as like, of course, it's all sort of falling into place now. And that's one of the things that you learn in that first month.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share? No?
Yeah. I guess the just every night Slya kind of looks at the picture that Brian made. She can see her.
Oh,
There you go.
sweet. Yeah. All right. So, next, we move away from the Underdark, and everyone else is slowly beginning to get back into their new routines, settle into their new lives wherever they have made camp for now. Neff.
Hello.
After returning to the Feywild and heading back, you send your letter to Osha. Would you like to share the contents of that letter?
Sure.
Or would you like to let the scene speak for itself? As you like.
It would have just been a short letter. It would have just been this sort of like, hey, I got your letter. I'm on my way to see you now, kind of thing.
Okay. Great. So, you... Yep. After making contact with the Five Spires, settling in your plans there, and then moving down back to the main city to meet Osha, you find her sitting in a not so crowded tavern at a table near the back where there's a little more privacy. She has 2 drinks in front of her already. Hers appears to be water.
Okay.
For you, she has oolong tea
All
with
right.
a Nevin shot on the side.
Ooh, with a Nevin shot on the side.
Nevin shot on the side.
Okay. All right. Cool.
She's sitting there, just kind of staring into her drink. Doesn't register your arrival until you get very close to the table, and she kind of jumps in and is like, "Hi, Neff."
Hey, Osha. Short time no see.
Yeah, I suppose. It's only been a little while. Would you like to sit?
Yes. I'll have a sit down. And at that moment, I'm gonna like look at the tea, look at the shot of Nevin. Is somebody sitting here?
It's for you.
Oh.
I thought it was the least I could do. The queue was really long, you know, and you look over to the bar, there's no one there.
Thanks. That's really thoughtful of you. I'll just sort of take this opportunity now to like pour the shot into the oolong tea. I'm gonna kind of stir it around, and
it's like a peach oolong, but it's Nevin.
I'm gonna take a sip of that peach oolong Nevin tea.
Mm-hmm. Good. She kind of sits there, just a little bit awkwardly, unsure of how to proceed or what to say.
So I got your letter, originally when you sent it, and I've had a lot of time to think about how all of the events between us kind of went down, and I really just want to apologize for how I went about things and for not trusting you, and or I guess kind of doubting you maybe more than I should have. Yeah. How have things been on your end?
Difficult. It's just a bit hard for me to open up to people, and I had been thinking about it for a few days already, whether I should tell you or not. And I'm starting to think that I made a mistake not telling you earlier, but it was just hard for me to like open my heart, and that's a really big secret, what I said to you. And
Yeah.
I see now that it is not something I should pursue. It's not something I want. Because in spite of what it could bring, in all reality, it would probably only cause more harm. And the reason I wanted to do it is because my whole life, my parents always fixated on the brother we lost instead of the children that they had. And I wanted to just one time not disappoint them. I thought if I brought him back, it would mean I had a brother again who I liked. I loved him. And it would also mean that my family was finally a real family, but messing with death and life wouldn't change everything. I know that.
Well,
yeah.
I'm at least glad that you haven't gotten lost in your parents' vision for what they wanted, in a sense. But it was wrong of me to kind of go about that in the way that I did, and I'm really sorry for both the way I acted towards you and for your loss.
I think that the thing that hurt me the most was I felt like my choice was taken away. I had already been branded as, I don't know, evil's too strong a word.
I know what you mean.
Something I'm not, from the mere insinuation that I would have done this. It took, no less than a day before the others found out. And that's not even long enough to process everything that you'd said to me. I just wanted you to know that I am more than just a bad decision I almost made. Right? I had a terrible choice to make. And I opened up to you about it. That's the first time I've opened up to it about anyone. And I chose not to. I chose not to bring him back. But it feels like I brought him back, went through all of that hell, and turned everyone against me anyway. Because I just can't forget how quickly everyone turned on me. What if that happens again? What if that happens to you for other people?
I'm gonna kind of awkwardly sort of try to pat Ursha on the shoulder in as comforting a way as I possibly can at the moment. Look, you're far more than a decision that you could have made. I don't want you to feel like you are that way, and I'm sure others won't think of you any less for that. It's a hard situation to be put into, and it was a whole lot of bad circumstances piled on top of each other that kind of led to that. It is what it is, and it's in the past now. Look, I want to try to learn as much as I can from the decisions we both made, I guess, and maybe kind of move forward from here and see how things go. I know that short time that we spent together was very hard, especially much more so on you than it was on me. But I think it would be maybe the best decision to just sort of move on from that and do what we can now, I guess, to see if we can figure ourselves out a little bit.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
I don't think that what we had before has been completely undone. At least that's what I hope. So, if there's anything left in you that thinks this is a good idea for us, then I'm willing to try again. But I want it to be a mutual choice. I feel like when I wrote my first letter, I was wrong to say that we will remain married. Because then I didn't know what to expect for the country, and I didn't know where you were at. I thought that's what you would want. Maybe that's not the case.
I think what I want at the moment is to take some time maybe to get to know each other a little bit more, because let's be fair, it's not like we've spent a whole lot of time together in total up to this point. But I'll have some time to do I wanted to get some horse riding done, and I know you're good at riding horses, so maybe you could show me the way a little bit before I go back to the 5 Spires to train for a few months. And we can just see how it goes from there. We can just get to know each other. Maybe as friends first, and move from there.
Yeah. Friends.
Okay. Friends. I'm gonna take another big sip out of my tea.
She drinks her water. You have a horse, right?
I do.
Is it with you now? Where is it?
Where did I leave the Colonel?
It's in Calcariat. Unless he brought it with you when he went back to the Feywild. Which I feel like you could have done.
I feel like I would have definitely... I think the last time I saw the party, I was like walking away with the horse from Calcariat into the sunset.
Yeah, you would. You definitely did. Yeah. Okay. So
he's actually with me right now. He's outside the bar. He's outside the tavern. I brought it with me. You want to see him? He's a majestic steed. I'm very lucky.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Okay. Let's get up there. And she downs the rest of her water and walks out with you.
Sweet. I down the rest of my shot in the tea.
Okay. All right. On the way out, you bow out back into the Viseros dusk, and the Colonel is standing there like a little bit feral.
It's
like
him.
All the best horses.
It's the one with the cutest face. Isn't he adorable? Look at him. Oh
she
my
looks
goodness.
at a different horse like, oh, it is really cute, and starts walking towards it.
No, it's this one over here. And I walk up
What?
and pet the Colonel.
That's a horse? Are you sure about that?
He's more than a horse to me. He's a trusty steed.
Get on him, ride him to that tree, and come back. And then I will see if he's a trusty steed.
Can I try animal handling?
Yeah. First, give me a dexterity check to get on that horse.
Okay.
It's
a 12.
A 12. All right. Okay. You're not quite upside down like you were that one time on the horse, but it's like a bit wonky. And Osha is like, "This is a mistake. Why did I agree to this?"
I'm still a beginner.
Uh-huh. Alright, to the tree.
Alright. Animal handling.
Animal handling check, please. Yes.
Okay, good. Please, nice. Oh, it's really bad. It's a 5. Oh wait, plus a 3, it's an 8.
8. Okay. Tell me how you get the kernel to the tree, and then I will tell you how you get the kernel to the tree.
Alright, I'm gonna try be like, kernel to the tree! And I'm gonna like try, like, pat him on the side and like kick him with my right foot and then kind of like tug on his leaves a bit.
Right. You like get kernel to the tree and you kick him with your right foot. He immediately like bucks you forwards, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no. Oh, that's cocked. But it was good. Rip. Oh, it's a net 1!
No! Alright. You like thrown like head over horse, like onto the ground, and then he kicks you with his right foot into the tree.
Oh.
And Osha is like,
Oh.
we need to start now if you want to get good.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Oh.
I'm saying it might be. But we'll try.
Okay, I appreciate your guidance to come. Oh, my head really hurts. He was a lot more tame on the way here, but he gets very rowdy when he's
Sure.
made to stand for too long.
Yeah, me too. Okay. If you can give me a month, I think we can have something.
Okay.
I'm saying something. I don't know what it will be.
Mhm.
But we'll have something. So
Something sounds
how does
good.
that sound?
That sounds like something more
Better
than I currently have.
nothing.
Let's do it.
Alright. And she holds out a hand.
I will reach out and pull myself up from my dazed stupor on the ground.
Okay, she pulls you up and then shakes your hand once, like, alright. That's a promise.
Okay.
Now, get back on that horse.
Alright, we're gonna try. Dexterity
Okay.
check.
I
Just
was
lost.
gonna fade it into black, but you can
I
do
just
one
wanna
more
s-
dexterity check.
I wanna
to
see if
you
I-
can save
Yeah, I just
your
want to see
reputation.
what we fade on. Let's see. Ah, it's not too bad. It's a 15.
Okay, this time with a bit of like helpful tips from Osha, get back up onto the horse. All right, so Neff, in your first month, is there anything that you would like to? Is there anything that you would like to share with the others about how you spent your time? Any sendings or letters you sent?
Yep.
Any things you want to ask me about what you might have learnt?
Sure. Okay, so 2 things that I want to do shortly after this experience as well. I want to send 2 letters, one to Blue and one to Brian.
Okay. Would you like to share those with everybody, or?
I'll let Bluey and Brian share them if they like. They're not overly personal, but they're mostly just sort of like update letters to see how they go.
Bluey?
Oh my god, a letter!
Okay. This is the scene. Bluey is on her way back to Melas, and this pigeon lands on her shoulder, and it like held out its like little leg, and it's got a little roll attached to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
It flies away. Okay, you have a letter. You look at it.
Hello, Blue. I'm writing to let you know I'm doing well, although training is a bit difficult. I hope I'll have the hang of it in a couple of months. I'm going to try to have a talk with Osha to figure things out while I'm here. I'll write to you to let you know how everything is going on my end. I hope you're doing well. Nefel. Aww.
Cute.
Nice.
Good. You can continue on your journey to Melas and think about your response along that way.
That's the
Ulster.
same as my letter.
It's a bit different.
I've
it's
heard they were
reworded.
very there's some slightly different things.
Sorry, I didn't reply, by the way, Thomas. I got very distracted.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
Dude, Brian is a very busy person. I totally understand.
Sorry.
Um,
I'll do it for the next sesh. I'll have replies done.
No, that's all good.
Okay. Ulster, by this point, it's only week 1, so you would actually probably be in a shizzle by now. A shizzle.
That sounds like a
Where's
dance.
Ulster's times?
Everybody do the shizzle. I don't know what came over me.
Yep. Okay, no, you'd be in a shizzle. Okay, so Ulster, you're sitting in your room, like minding your own business, researching like through your books, and like just having some nice R&R after a long day in the lab and helping Corvius. And all of a sudden, you hear like a clack 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 on your window. Clack clack clack.
Can I shut the curtain?
You go to shut the curtains. You see there's a pigeon just like headbutting it, like scratching at it, and it's got like a little note in its paws, like clack clack clack.
I
Clack, clack,
consider
clack.
it for a long moment before opening it.
Clack 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 clack.
I think I know who this is from. Just by the pigeon.
Clack 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 clack.
Take the letter.
Postal workers don't get paid enough to
Yeah.
deal with this.
Nah.
Do you want me to
You,
read the letter because it's like pretty much exactly the same?
You receive a letter. This is what the letter looks like.
Okay.
Okay, wait, I'm gonna make a prop letter right now using things I can find around me. I have many materials. Aha. Wait. This is actually gonna look kinda cute. And it's purple. I like purple. Brian is immediately triggered.
Yeah. His least favorite color.
Is Brian's least favorite color
no.
purple?
For
Not
good
even
reason.
orange.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just think about it.
Yeah. Think of some
His favorite
stones.
color is red.
Prop letter.
Oh, cute!
Yeah, I put red as. I knew that because that's what I put red as his color code as. Because I was going to put it as blue, and I was like, oh, bluey.
Yeah, I think
so
Brian's red.
I think Neff's
Yeah.
super basic. She wouldn't have a
You
least favorite
receive
color.
this letter, which
Thanks.
is definitely not a piece of felt. To summarize, it says around about the same thing as
Pretty much the same, yeah.
blueies, and I have those letters. You can roll it back up and continue sleeping, or start drafting a response as you wish.
I'll send a response next session on Wednesday. If that's okay.
All right. So, right next, Thomas. Anything else you would like to tell the others about in this first month?
Yeah, so after doing some horse riding with Osha, I want to go back to talk to Vanya, get her kind of opinion on the whole deal, see what she's doing, see how she's doing, and do some more training. And I think there's nothing else that I really wanted to do in month 1.
Okay, yep. Going back to Vanya, she agrees to train you, and once you tell her, you open up to her a bit more about your relationship, she just says, you know, you've got to do what you want to do. And if what you want to do changes over time, that's also fine.
Can
Just
I insight check her while she
go
says
with what's
that?
right. Sure.
Okay.
Just go with what feels right, and try to make the most of what you are doing.
This is not very good. Where's my insight? Oh, my insight is great! That's a 17. It's a 9 plus an 8.
You can she's mentally saying, you just gotta do who you want to do for as long as you want to do them, and is looking at you like. But she also seems very earnest in her, like, you know, feelings change.
Yeah.
Make the best of the situation you're in now, and if this is another opportunity to fix your relationship with Osha, don't make sure you make the most of it.
Alright, sweet. That's pretty much all I want to do in month 1.
Okay. Right then. So next, Bluey. You roll back up Neff's letter, and you're like, oh wow, that was a letter and a half. Putting it away, and you see the after leaving Whitecliff Castle, being sent off by Marlena and Merlin, you knowing that Anna is inside along with
Ender's body.
yeah. You make your way towards Melas again. This time you can go on horseback, but it only takes you a few hours to get there, as you are traveling alone and quite swiftly. Soon the grey clouds above you begin to part to blue skies. Sun streams down on the crescent moon, sort of like drop in the ground in which Melas is built. You see the ocean glittering and sparkling ahead of you, the northern seas reaching out as far as the eye can see. The white stone buildings which are built into the cliff faces, which go under the cliff faces in some places as well. the white pavilion, which is at the center of the city along the long white aqueduct and archway. Everything that you haven't seen in so long, but you remember from your childhood, is quickly coming back into view. As you go back down into the city, looking around you, you see that it's as lively as ever. People are prospering here. The only difference is that there are a lot more people living on the outskirts of the city in tents and well maintained but cramped living conditions, refugees. You know that in your absence, Finnegan and IT have been doing their best to protect the refugees and help them settle in. And you've also heard from Neff now that the Temple of Tiamat, when she met them, also seemed to be doing what they could to help the refugees there too. As you make your way down, another stark difference that you notice. Where once upon the white walls, blue and green and grey tapestries hung, which hearkened to the dominion of Carmen Trand and her power in the city. Now those are gone. White flags in their place.
Can you all hear that?
Yes, it's very loud.
It's so loud. Sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Carmen Tran's beautiful tapestries
Have been taken away
out of there.
out of there.
We're not
In their
doing that
place.
here now, mate.
No, in their place, white flags to represent the surrender of the city, and occasionally orange and gold for you know to be the Temple of Tiamat.
Yucky.
Waiting at the bottom of the road for you. Both of them leaning against the low wall, looking around a little bit more like anxiously than they did once before. You see a tiefling and a dwarf talking to each other. And the tiefling is talking to the dwarf who has her back to you, and he looks up and he sees you and he waves, and then he pats the dwarf on the shoulder and she turns around and you see IT there as well. Finnegan and IT waiting to greet you on your return home. And both of them rush up to you and eagerly wait for you to dismount before giving you a huge hug. It's been too long, IT says. I missed you!
As quickly as possible.
Get off the horse!
And
give me a hug!
I missed you too.
Hug me! I missed you! And she just jumps around. And Finnegan does get in there as well. And he's like, I missed you too. I'm not gonna be as gushy about it because I'm trying to be someone you can rely on. And he starts crying immediately. I missed you so much.
I missed you guys.
How have you been?
How have I been?
What's happened to you?
Well, I was at a wedding.
Oh, that's kind of nicer than I expected.
That was one of the last things we did. Then before that, we gave character references to someone. Do you know about him? Yes. Someone who's going on trial for well, it's basically the reason I left with Sobek. Do you remember Sobek? Is it an organization?
I do. I remember you mentioning it. I don't know if I've really ever met Sobek, but I remember you mentioning him.
You might have seen him in the Bad Dragon. The Dragon's Dead. Sorry, Dragon's Dead. Anyway.
Oh yeah! Oh my goodness, that was long ago.
Yeah.
Months.
Time is weird.
Time is real weird. But
he's
anyway, this is not Bluey.
Anyway,
it's probably not the best place for this. Why don't we go and sit down somewhere?
Okay.
Oh, and she kind of pulls you on the arm and says, "How about we go and see Dad?"
I was just thinking that.
Okay.
But you guys sort of keeping a lookout here? What?
Yeah, we are. I actually had one more question. Who's that dude with you? And turning around, you realize you never introduced Momswesveld to them. He was
Okay.
falling behind you.
Hello. Well, I met this person.
Hello.
Can I introduce you? Like, say your real name or something?
Give
or
me
just-
call me. Hang on, let me pick a fake name. What about Ulster?
No.
I don't think that's
What about
creative.
John Smith.
Beth? What
this
about
is.
Slyer?
Uh,
What about
John. John is nice and
Gondo.
simple, like Momsveld.
You're not there! Oh, I got it. What about
I'm always there.
Manrosdad?
but
What about Gondo? What about Avrulne? What about Shrekimus?
Okay, well,
And IT's just standing there like, if you're having trouble picking a fake name, I can just not know it. That's also fine.
his name is Mr. X. So
Not
That's
Mr. Is that Mr.
Um,
X is the right title? No professor, no doctor.
I have no idea. Sorry. Look, he wanted help from people he knew or knew tangentially. I'm one of those people. And he can help me.
Yes, I can. In fact, we should talk about that, but maybe not out in the open. Let's go set your things down, figure out where we're staying, and then go from there.
We're at the Winterbrands.
Are we staying there? Not in the city?
I think there's enough. If you wanted to, I'm sure.
Sure.
Frederick will be all good with
That's
that.
fine. Yeah, that's all good to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say like ignore him. Sorry. But well. Anyway. So I'm. Okay.
Deep breaths. It's gonna be fine. No. Deep breaths. What about this? Okay. If you're not staying in the city, let's go see Dad. And then that's kind of secluded. So whatever secret things you need to talk about amongst yourselves, you can talk about there.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right then. Back the way you came. Can you make me what's your passive perception?
I think it's 16.
Make me a perception check.
Okay. I'll use. Oh, it's the metal. Hello.
Metal boy.
Oh, it's an 11.
11 plus.
No, it's an 11 in total.
11. Okay. Okay. Looking around, you're like, wow, Melas, I'm back. And you make your way back the way you came. To in the direction of your dad's grave. Momswesveld joining in tow. It's a beautiful ride over. Back up the way you came, but not far from the city. You instead follow the crescent edge of the cliffs around to where curved cliff meets the straight cliff before the sea. On that corner, there is a very, very small temple, which is unmanned, but it is consecrated ground. And there, Dad is buried. And IT was assuming that she could just like hop on your horse, and Finnegan said that he would wait for you to return, didn't want to intrude, and if you allow her to ride with you,
yes.
would you like to ride with her in like? Yeah, she can probably fit behind you, so she's just like holding on tight, big spoon
you would
in
be
you.
very obstructed.
All right.
Anyway.
She's like, I can't see anything, but this is fine. And if you could see her face, you should be blushing ever so slightly. She gets down off the horse and holds up her hand to you and is like, I'll forget
I'll try.
You're welcome.
I'll try not to bear all my weight.
Yep.
But yes.
Mom says, I'm going to scout the area. When I'm back, we can talk.
Okay.
I won't go far. And you do see he just kind of rides off like in one distance. It's all flat around you, no trees, nothing, and just goes off around.
Thank you,
can
Mr.
see him the whole
X.
time. Yeah, it's fine. You go up to the temple and you know that there is a stone slab with your father's name on it. And what does the stone slab read, Bluey?
What does the stone slab read?
What's his name?
Dadalan.
Yeah.
The good dad.
Dadalan, the good dad in the Dadlands.
Oh.
The goodest dad in the Dadlands.
There you go.
IT immediately looks around and is like, oh, I didn't bring any flowers. Do you have anything to offer? Deep breaths.
I have this belt. Wait, hang on. No.
Is it a
sorry.
fancy belt? Do you have any flowers from your friend Brian? He did a lot of flowers. He made some really beautiful ones. I liked him.
I do.
Oh.
No, Dad should have it. Yeah.
You don't.
Okay, I'm gonna unpin it and put it
The
on
forget
there.
me not. But that's in your art that I did.
Oh,
I'm joking.
That's
No,
a little bit low key offensive, but I'm not.
What? Well, okay. And I also want to make sure that not damaging the flower. There's like a rock or something on top of it. So
Brian's gonna notice you don't have that anymore.
Well,
Bluey gets demoted.
I'm gonna be like, look, I gave it to Dad. All right, shut up.
You don't get another one.
You're not my dad.
You're not there. Let Anna play out the scene. We can see what she has to say for herself.
Sorry.
Anna, Bluey, sorry. As he set down the flower, IT says, what does that mean?
It's a lily of the valley. Brian gave it to me. It means this is Bluey reaching into her memory banks. Where there it is. It's appreciation of pure heart and someone with straightforward integrity. I think I'm remembering that. Yeah.
It actually kind of suits him, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
But it's precious to you as well. What if we... And she kind of blushes a little bit and she's like, what if we make it something like this? Instead of giving this to him, we're leaving it here for safekeeping. A promise between both of us, all of your friends included, that when everything is done, we'll come back here and we'll bring him another flower. And that'll mean a different promise. Maybe one that you can all make together. One made specifically for him. And she looks around and she says, I'm pretty sure your friends would really like this place. It's kind of pretty.
It's sort of... It's quiet up here.
So quiet, all I can hear are my thoughts going around over and over again in my head. Bluey, do you remember... No, go on, please. More first.
If you were gonna say... Sorry.
Oh, no. No, please. Please go.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think what I want to say will still be relevant after this. I hope so.
Okay, I think sort of maybe sitting down in such a way that's like, if you would like to sit down, you can sit down as well.
I'm already sitting on the floor.
Bluey will sit down then. Well, I've been thinking a bit, and I've realized that I sort of need to apologize. Before I left, wait, no, I know it's been really way too long since I've been around to help, around in general. Things are really starting to get shitter here. I think
Yeah.
I left at the wrong time. Well, I mean, I don't know what would have happened to Finnegan if me and my friends hadn't come back when we did, and already it was getting way too late. Not that I could help that part exactly, because I didn't know 3 months had passed
Okay.
in a matter of hours.
Bluey, take a deep breath. Calm down. You say you think you left at the wrong time, but Bluey, there's never a wrong time or a right time to leave anywhere. There's only the time where you have to go. Sometimes that choice isn't one you can make. And whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It just is the thing that you have to do right then and there so that you can sleep at night. And, you know, it's not easy to choose to stay or go. And the fact that you made that decision and you went out and you helped so many more people, it's honorable, and it's definitely not wrong. It might have been a difficult time for Melas, but you trust us, and we trust you. And we knew that you leaving didn't mean having one less badass, cool, like really some kind of cute dragonborn like fighter on our side. It also meant that you trusted us to take care of Melas for you. And that made me, and she blushes, that made me start to realize that I could trust myself as well to do right by you. And right by our people.
That is good to hear. But I mean, as well as probably going for the right reason, I think I went for the wrong reason as well. Okay, a few months before, as much as I wanted to help out with Sobek's organization, for the sake of stopping something else really bad happening, it wasn't the only reason I left. I'm sorry.
Tell me.
I'm
here to listen.
Felt like I needed to tear myself away from here. Well,
not many people can do that. You're one of the very few.
I think I was This is so hard to say. I was starting to, before I left, starting to think about you a lot. Or think about how I realized that I fell in love with you. And
Wait, hang on a second. You need to say that one bit again because I didn't hear it.
I realized that I fell in love with you.
Fell in love with you? Because me
And-
too.
And I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Wait, no, Bluey, do you remember the drawing
Yeah.
that I
have
drew
it
for
right
you
here. Oh
before
my
you
gosh.
left?
Yeah.
Oh, you still have it?
Yeah.
Bluey, this is really hard for me to say. But no, it's not even hard because I know it. And I know that you think it too. So it's even easier now. I love you. I really do. And trust me, it's in the same way. And she takes her hand, just like, in the same way that I think you love me too.
I just want to say I'm sorry that I didn't tell you how I was feeling, and it sometimes felt a bit painful in my
No.
chest. And
Was that why you left?
I was selfish in that way. I didn't sort of. It's part of it. But
Right.
that wasn't fair
Bluey?
on you.
Bluey, no. We're not making any apologies. We're not making any concessions. What happened, happened. And here's what I'm going to say. From now on, love isn't going to drive us apart anymore. It's only going to drive us closer together. Let's make that promise. I think Dad would want that too. And she picks up that flower and she gives it back to you and she says, I think that you should keep this because it'll remind you of right now, this moment. And Dad'll understand. And when it's hard for you, remember that your friends love you enough to give you something as precious as this. That Dad is waiting for you here and that I also love you too. And I'm going to be closer to you. And maybe instead of coming back to collect this, when everything's done, we'll come back together with many, many more flowers like these. How's that sound?
That sounds really good.
And she's holding her hand and she's like right in front of you. She's like, I'm not really sure what to do now.
I don't know either.
She's kind of like, do you want to? And she leans in. Immediately you hear like the clip clop clip clop clip clop clip clop of like horse hooves, and it's like, all right, I've done the surveying, and like, oh, am I breaking up an intimate moment? I'm sorry, I'll go. And IT is like, huh, and Mom's result has returned.
I will give her a hug, a strong hug.
She gives you a strong hug back. Mom's out, gets down from his horse, and he says, all right, so let's discuss.
Yes.
Okay.
Discussion. Okay.
From what you've told me about the situation in Melas, this is what I think is our best way forward. And from there, we'll just go with what we can do. What I can find good or bad, helpful or not, at least it's something. So, I'm going to try and find someone, if they exist, still living, from the Temple of Carmentrand. Because from what you've described, this Tia's place, the location of it is the next big thing. We can't find it on any maps. No one knows how to get there, except acolytes of Carmentrand. If we can't find any... Now, this is a bit morbid, and we're in a graveyard, and I don't want to bring this up in front of the dead, blessed be their souls, but we may have to start digging.
Ah.
I don't want to do that. I'm putting that out there. That's not what I want to do.
I don't.
First, I'm going to do the best that I can to find someone still alive. But if we have to speak with the dead, there are ways you can do that without dishonoring their memories.
That would be.
Or there are also ways to do that with dishonoring their memories, if that's what you so wish.
I don't wish.
Okay. I will avoid those.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Okay. I will continue with my search.
Could you patrol a bit longer? Just double check.
Yeah, sure.
Just
Let me
be
get
safe.
right now.
Yes.
He kind of puts his hand up. Do you want some private time?
Yeah.
If you're going to have your first kiss, I recommend you don't do it in a graveyard. And he gets back up onto his horse and is like,
You're right.
I'll meet you back in Melas.
Okay.
Or, no. You'll see me when you see me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Stay safe.
You too. And he turns the horse around. Off he goes.
Bye bye, Mr. X.
Yeah.
Well, that is your real name. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're both alive, and I want to be here to help, and I want to be here for you. Yes.
Yes. I also think yes.
Mm.
And she stands up, pulls you out to the outside of the graveyard, back on the path towards Melas, to where your horse is, and she's like, "Can you just help me up?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm a bit shorter." And she like gets her foot caught in the stirrup, and you bang heads on the way, and like, "Ow!" And she's like right there, and she just kind of like gives you a quick peck on the mouth, and she's like, "Okay," and I'm gonna just keep getting on the horse, and she gets back on the horse. Join me up here.
Yes.
All right. This time, I have the reins. Pulls around, and it's the wobbliest horse ride you've ever had.
Oh, would you like help?
Nah, she's fine. And you ride off into the sunset. Now, Bluey, would you like to tell anyone anything about your month? Your first month? And then we'll get into Allstairs scene and probably the last scene for the evening.
Let's see. First month. What happens? Bluey meets Clara, and it has the general impression that like, why the hell is Clara so enthusiastic about this city that she's only lived in for a month or something? That is odd, surely, especially with all the bad PR. So she's cautious around her and confused by her. Then sort of in general thinking about like the fanaticism of Melas and sort of has what did I write down? Sorry.
I can tell you a little bit. The fanaticism of Malice has 2 origins. That's what you figure out in the first month.
Sort of.
There seems to be
And-
something that is motivating the temple workers, and which is different from what's motivating the people to beat Melas. Whether they're linked at all, you haven't figured out yet. What exactly either of those are, you haven't figured out yet. But you're like, something's fishy here. That's basically what you've got so far.
And then Bluey also asks Mons Visvald to get into council meetings and give sort of reports on what's the haps. And the Winterbrands are like, yes, this is good. What the hell is happening?
Yep. And because the Winterbrands support it, I need you to make a persuasion check with advantage to see how keen he is to get in there.
Okay.
Don't worry, she didn't do it.
What?
Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Yes,
Why?
please. With advantage.
Oh, 12.
To see whether... you did advantage?
Yeah.
12?
Does
He's
it
on
take
the
him
fence.
another week?
It's not necessarily that. He seems on the fence. He says he'll do what he can, but he's not committed to putting himself at risk like that.
Fair enough.
If an opportunity arises, he'll take it. If it doesn't, then he will continue as he is.
Okay.
Ambiguous.
And then apart from that, because she can't send to Slayer anything, it's like, sad times, but she sends through a sending postal service little things to Brian and Neff.
Would you like to read those aloud? So, Brian,
Yes.
first. So, what do you send to Brian? Is it a letter? Is it a sending?
It's a sending.
Okay. Brian, with the time, what time of the day do you send this in? A prayer?
Okay. It'll probably be like just after midday.
Brian, you're settling down to go to sleep. Lying in your bed. It's a very nice sleeping arrangement.
All
Think
of
like
Brian's scenes are him receiving mail and just waking up.
Yeah. No, you got your... what I've done is I've done my best to organize the scenes by, first of all, like how long they are, and also the basic time frame in which they occur. So, but Brian, you, yeah. So you're lying in bed. It's kind of like the Hogwarts common rooms kind of vibes, except it's a lot more sparse. Like,
Does he have his own room?
Well, would you like your own room, or would you like a roommate?
Well,
the thing is, if we look at
I
the
don't
timeline,
want to force it upon you. If we look at the
Wait.
timeline,
if we look at the timeline,
I
Loran's
feel
there
like-
until the end of the month.
okay,
You can move in with a roommate. I don't know.
yeah.
What works?
Okay, what about this? It's like because you're a special you're a special snowflake.
I'm special.
For the first month, you definitely have your own room with Loran, and like it's more of like
Roommates.
it's a little bit smaller. It's not as like well accessible as the other rooms.
And they were roommates.
They were. Wait! Oh my gosh! I want to make like a time skip Vines compilation where it's like, "Are you sure about that for OSHA?" And it's like they were roommates, so Brian and Loran.
And then Aaron takes over, and that's why Loran doesn't like him.
I think it's going to be like a situation of like you can have a room with a double bed, which is less accessible, but Loran can come and stay over and like have somewhere to stay with you whenever he wants, or you can have a room which is like for now you're on your own with Loran, but there will be a roommate.
Okay, he'll risk it.
Roommates,
Okay.
but they were roommates. Okay,
I'm
you're
scared.
settling it in bed. I think Loran by this point has
Yeah.
pushed his roommate bed next to yours and is kind of like lying there like he doesn't snore, he looks beautiful when he sleeps.
I think
His
he's
like
yours.
his like goatee is just like glistening in the moonlight.
No. I hate it.
You love it.
There's just a bit of drool in it.
Yeah. But you're like about to settle in, you're being the big spoon, and it's like, ah yes, peace at last. And what do you hear in your head? Bluey, please tell me your message to Brian.
Hi, Brian. Hope you're doing well.
Oh.
Wanted to let you know I'm good. Mella's still, but I'm dating Heidi. Sending strong thoughts.
I
Bluey.
replied to this. Hold on. I actually
Yeah,
did
what?
reply to this one because it was only one. Anna, where are you? Wow, you're way down here. Okay. I have Brian's reply. Do you want me to reply?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, "Very happy for you, Bluey. Glad to hear good news. Please send my best wishes to IT. Best of luck with your ventures. See you soon, Horster." Hangs
The
up.
best part of that is that it sounds like something you would send like half asleep in the middle of the night. Like,
That
I'm
works
very
so
happy
well.
for you. Beautiful.
Thank you for this.
Loran is like,
confidence.
Loran is like, what the heck?
Who are
is
you
going
talking to?
Who are you talk- Also, I didn't know you talk in your sleep. And then he goes back to bed.
Mhm.
Okay, Bluey, anything else for that month?
Well, to Neff.
Neff? Your Neff.
I don't know
Sending.
whether this is before or after. Anyway.
I think I was
whichever
meant to
way
send my
works out.
letter like in response always to your sending.
Oh, that's
okay.
fine. I got it. We can just tweak that so it makes a bit more sense.
Okay, well,
oh
hey, Neff.
no.
Hello.
I've just realised that Maruto is closed. I was going to get dinner there. Never mind. It's fine.
Oh,
Go on.
Emma.
It's okay.
you've got
Continue.
grapefruit juice.
I was gonna say there's juice.
Yeah, don't judge me for drinking it from the thing.
Bitter,
Right,
bitter
everyone.
juice.
I love grapefruit juice. Go on.
Hey, Neff. Hope training's going well. Just wanted to let you know I'm going good. Learning about Mellas, and I'm dating Heidi. Sending strongness, Bluey.
Oh boy! Congrats! Oh my god. Emma is actually on her way to marrying all of us. One left, one to go.
Mhm.
That's the true
Mm.
objective of this campaign. That's why I recruited all.
That's
of you.
when it
Emma's
ends.
Needs.
Bluey's
I need
deep
lots of
dark
many,
secret
many,
is
many
that she doesn't want to get married. No, kidding.
Oh my god. What am
Everything
I
married.
doing, by the way, during this like sending? When do I receive this? Am I like at
Neff,
the dojo?
are you
or-
ready? Oh, sorry. This is exactly what I was going to say. So, what time are you sending this one?
Probably about the same time, just after midday.
Okay, just after midday, which means
I can give in
in the
coin.
Feywild, where are you in comparison? It's always dusk.
How does
but-
that even work?
Magic.
Amazing.
Duh. What I love about the fact that it's always dusk and the dusk rising and falling is that what you'd expect to be like sunrise and sunset, it's like dusk rise is like the opposite of what it would mean like if it was in the UK, in like the material plane. It's like dusk rise is when like the dusk recedes and it's darker, and dusk fall is like when the dusk grows and it's brighter. So it's like, ah yes, opposites, and that makes my life difficult. But for
Good fun.
Neff, early
Yes.
morning training, you're standing under a waterfall, teeth chattering, Vanya's in front of you like, remember, reconnect with the ancestors.
It's so
Think
cold.
about the flame within you, light it
Oh.
in spite of the water around, and your teeth are chattering, and all of a sudden in your head you hear, just say the beginning of the sending again.
Hey, Neff. Hope training's going well.
Oh, I think I'm hearing things.
You have a delusional moment, you're like, what? And you like, oh gosh, I can reply to this, but what do I say? Do you send a reply or do you only send the letter?
Oh, can I reply immediately?
It's a sending.
It's ascending.
Okay. I'll just say, Congratulations! I hope everything is going well.
Oh, it's cute. Very good. Anything else, Bluey?
That's all for the first month.
Okay, good.
That's
I
just
do also
the
want to say
first
that
month.
Courage
Courage!
did come with you and had a great time. All right, and next. So
Sorry, Courage.
this one is at last for Allstare. Allstare, who has been spending the first few weeks of his time skip traveling to a Shissel and settling into his life in the High Solarian. Allstare, in your first week, you are introduced to Corvius Lafiel, who is the old magic tutor of Loran and Sarazur, and now works in the High Solarian. He's one of the few Fey descendants that you meet in the country. Most people here being of Asimar, celestial descent, or Genasi. And one of the first things you notice when you land in the country, getting off the teleportation circle, straight from the Feywild, along with a whole host of other students who are making their way to the High Solarian, is, oh no, I don't speak the language.
Oops.
And Loran is like, neither do I. But I think we can find ourselves someone who might be able to help. And he takes you to Corvius, who is the person that Leander put you in touch with and who you will be assisting for the next few weeks. You settle in, finding your room, decorating it, meeting people, hanging out in the dorm hallways. Like maybe people will walk past. No, I'm joking. You don't do that. But it's very much like settling into uni vibes. Except
You leave the
it's
door a
magic.
little bit open in the first week and then slowly just close it.
Close it, yeah. As you get more comfortable, you close it. And you realize that this place, the High Solarian, is a treasure trove of information. You thought that the library in Eldrelith was huge. You thought that the library you saw in the Temple of Abundance was huge. This is on another level. Level. Books, scrolls, maps. There is a room dedicated entirely to one of the oldest maps in the world, which shows the ground, like the Earth, Earth Ashura, as it would be seen from the skies, and it's incredible to look at. Everything here is just old, well kept, cultivated, and commemorated through the study of the materials. And everyone who works here is committed to discovering the secrets of the universe, discovering the secrets of society and the world we know, and where magic comes from, and big questions. And you are amongst these people, and this is one of the first places where you go, and people don't care about your title, but they actually just care about you and why you're here and what matters to you, what you want to learn, and what you are here to achieve. And that trumps any family name. It trumps any reason for which you got in. This place is a sacred hall of knowledge. And happy Brian. Loran actually really enjoys it here too, mostly because you're here, but also because he's seeing you at peace for the first time, like a relative peace, Zen, for the first time in a very long time. And he assists you, I think, as you also meet the librarian at the High Solarian, Elisar, in your research with the about Lachey and your ancestry, and about the Maasai. You settle in and you become more comfortable in your surroundings, but you realize that you're still kind of isolated. And reaching out to Corvius, he agrees to set you up with a few people, contacts, who may be able to
Blind friend dating.
Yep, may be able to assist you and help you along the way. Once Loran is left to learn the language, continue research, and just get used to life in the High Solarian. And it is whilst you and Loran are sitting in one of the sort of like alcoves of the library, with a window huge with a nice like cushion seat looking out over the sort of the ocean line, which is like beautiful blue cerulean coast of a Schissel, that you hear footsteps coming towards you, and you look over your shoulders to see just like a bit hunched over, but trying his best to be standing up straight and hands clasped in front of him like a proper gentleman. Corvius is like, Ulster.
Brian just jumps up immediately.
Yes, that's good. Sit down, boy. Sit down.
You
Yes,
stay standing.
well, anyway, as you like. Ulster, Loran, and Loran's like, yeah. I came here to tell you that I've found some volunteers who are keen to help you settle in here as much as possible. Want to help you
Friend
to.
volunteers.
Well, it's more a situation of these archives, and everybody here has a bit of an advantage on you, seeing as they've studied here and been introduced to these like systems over time. This is all must be a bit overwhelming for you, so they're just here to help you, and if friendship comes along the way, then all the better. Am I right in saying that?
It's very optimistic.
And so are they. Here they are. And he sort of like beckons forward 2 figures. And you see sort of like bouncing around the corner this elven girl with like tanned skin, long blonde hair, which is kind of like pulled into 2 braids by the side of her head.
It's Emma.
It's not me. I don't have tanned skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say Emma in summer.
Emma in summer is red. I am a fire genasi. Anyway, and she's like hops around the corner, followed by someone who looks distinctly as though they're from a Schissel. Fairly tall, maybe 6 foot or so. Black, slightly wavy hair, very thick hair.
Looks a bit like Adam Driver.
Looks a bit like Adam Driver, which was basically like on my character design page. I just scrolled and pointed without looking. It was like the closest character design, like to character design roulette. Which, oh my god, that should be a game.
I remember that being
Character
done.
design roulette. That could be so fun.
We all play the characters we designed by roulette.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun to do like
Take
in
notes.
person. Yeah. Like
do that in Japan.
you could like make an actual
George
like wheel. Anyway.
Yeah.
It could also be a really fun way to like play things you wouldn't expect to enjoy playing and like figure out new things. Anyway, but that's another idea.
Lily, you can't play a pretty elf boy. What do I do?
Lily malfunctions. No. But what was that? Yeah, you see these 2 people come around the corner, wearing the sort of loose silhouettes of which are very common in a Schisselian fashion. And the first, the elven girl says, "Hello, my name's Alexa. Pleased to meet you."
Alexa? Ulster?
Yes, I'm so excited to show you around. Oh my gosh, we're going to be great friends. Anyway,
Appreciate the enthusiasm.
no, it's okay. Let me tell you a little bit about me, and then I want to hear a lot about you. I'm currently dating, and she's like, there's this really like shy but like, you know, mysterious like Goliath man. He's a transfer student, and I think I can woo him over. And
So you're not dating, you're just crushing.
well, I like to. What is the definition of dating, really? I mean, I think he likes me. He's just a bit shy, and you know what? Let's get into this later. I want to let and Aaron's like, no, go on. This is marvelous. Hello. I speak Sylvan. So, and I mean, as you can tell, that's how we can talk to each other. But I'm basically just here to help you with whatever you need. And I guess I could show you around, show you some of the cool places around the city. What are you particularly interested in?
Everything.
Everything? Suits me. I know a lot of places. I've lived here my whole life, and I've been in the High Solarian for a fair few years too. So, whatever you need.
Brian's got like shiny eyes.
Loran is just like,
Uh-oh.
yeah. hmm What about what's the alcohol situation in this country, city, place that we're in? And Aaron's just like, well, okay, somewhat non-existent, but
Brian's face just like, oh.
and he gives you like a, but wait, do not fret. Corvus, cover your ears, and Corvus is like, Aaron's like, don't worry. I know some good places. Trust me, and everything will be fine.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
And Lorana's just like, But Corvus says, well, I'll let the four of you all get acquainted. Ulster, same time tomorrow. Bring your alchemy kit. I'm going to try my best to teach you how to make a healing potion, but I also need your assistance in relabeling my expired frog eyes.
Oh. Okay. Yes, sounds quite fun.
The old back isn't quite what it used to be. And he just wanders away.
Understandable.
He's like, yes, you're such a good boy, Ulster. You've just done so well for me so far, thank you. And you just hear him rattling on as he walks away, and Lorana's like, you know, he's really loosened up a bit in his old age.
Or
When
was
I
it
was
just that
young,
he was teaching you?
well, that's also true. I was quite a handful.
We know.
A handful of gold. That doesn't mean anything. Aaron says, I think I get what you were going for, but you might have just missed the mark there. And Lorana's like,
Brian just puts his hand on
Thanks,
Rand's forehead like, are you
Aaron.
feeling okay?
I'm fine.
I've
I've just realised that Aaron is Laren, which is Loran, but the A's and the U are switched.
Oh no.
I just want to say,
Brun flakes.
if Loran's like a handful of gold, then at room temperature he'd be falling through the fingers. hard to get a grip of.
Hard to get a grip on.
Alexa says, well, actually, yeah, that's the what you don't realise is that if it touches your skin, gold begins to melt. So you'd just be holding a puddle.
Please don't make him feel any worse.
I feel fine. I like
check Loran.
Go for it.
22.
22. Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Oh.
So after you meet Alexa and Aaron, you do spend a lot of time together studying, going through the archives, researching, and it's actually quite pleasant. You get to know each other, and regardless of how much you open up to each other about your past and the problems that the world might be facing, they are at least very welcome to just letting you be as comfortable as you want to be around them, and always offering to take you places and help you should you need it. And
Squad.
yeah, it's a good squad.
They
Over
all
time,
their names all begin with A.
I know,
They're
AAA battery,
AAA. Yeah, it's just
AAA battering ram. So they help you over time, and you settle in, doing your research, doing your job, and it comes to the day when Loran kind of pulls you aside and says, should we go talk upstairs?
Is everything okay?
It's soon, I think, that we'll, Sarza and I will start looking into Valus, and I wanted to talk to you about it. If you want to do it here and he just points out round to you guys, you're at the library at the moment, or if you want to do it upstairs, I just wherever's most comfortable for you.
We can go upstairs. Don't know who could be listening.
It's true. You head upstairs and you head into your room, and he says, I'll pop a sanctum. Sanctum is popped. So, Valos. It's a lot. All of this. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Where this will lead us, I have no idea. But I'm going to make you a promise right now. If I leave the plane, I'll tell you. If it looks like walking into danger, I'll think twice about it and I'll tell you as well. And if you tell me not to go, I will not go.
I wouldn't ask that of you, but if you are going to do anything... Sorry, where's that echo coming from? I hate the sound of my own voice.
Probably me. I can't hear it.
Sorry. What was I saying? Okay. If you're going to be doing anything dangerous, more dangerous than usual, please let me know, because in the end I don't have to be here, and if you and Cyrus are going to be in danger, I'd rather be where you...
Ulster, I know you better than you think I do. And this last month, seeing you here, where as much as possible you can be free, it's brought something out in you that I want to cherish and protect, which is a very embarrassing thing to say, even in close quarters. But it doesn't make it any less real. And as much as I can, I want this, and he just gestures around the room, to be for you. To be something you can do for yourself and earn yourself and make your own, even if it means hanging out with whatever his name is.
Aaron.
I'm sure he's nice, but I'm nicer.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Brian seems to be like...
Sorry, I can't help it sometimes. It just happens. And
most of the time it's funny, some of the time it's scary.
let's hope from now funny. It's only scary when we need it to be.
Sounds like a good compromise.
I trust you. So. But again, I won't keep things from you. So trust me too. Okay?
I do trust you. And thank you for doing this. I know you hate Kurul, and we think all of us do, but his son shouldn't be the object of our hatred. And as much as you think that being here is good for me, I will stay here as long as I can to fulfill the debt that I have to your father. And then if I can, I want to join you and Saraza, or at least help in any way I can, because I'm happy now that you're here with me, but if I know that you and Saraza are in danger or doing things that I could be lessening the burden of, I want to be there as well.
I think that's reasonable. But that's something we'll cross when we come to it. It may even be that this ends up being the best place for us to figure things out. There's so much information here.
Yes,
And
I'm going to try and get through it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that my father is going to come here at some point, because I remember him mentioning something about the beacons and there being a device, and I'm pretty sure that's in a shizzle. So you never know, maybe everything will converge back here. And we can have a nice holiday where we'll wake up, have like a breakfast buffet, go to the beach, do some sightseeing, and then in the evenings we can search for lost children, for dangerous magical items, and try and figure out why the world's about to implode.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Well, you know what? It's not reasonable at all. But everything in our lives is just so bizarre by now that it's probably great.
It's become quite
It feels
normal.
great. Yeah. Like, since when have our daily routines been sleep, don't know where, wake up, don't know when, but probably with a knife to our throats?
It does
Oh
beat.
no, there are drow everywhere, but we also don't hate the drow, but we also kind of hate the fae, but we also are all fae. It's difficult. Do you see what I'm saying? These big questions.
I think after this we should probably go and talk to someone just to work out these issues that we have deep-seated within us.
Yeah, therapy sounds like a good idea.
Mm.
Admitting you have a problem is the first step of the problem. It's the first step of solving the problem. That's what I heard. At least from someone. But Sarzo, I think, will want to stay in Kalkan a little bit longer. And I mean, but I think that's where we'll start.
Mhm.
And that's not too far. It's a trip to Viseros, then to Kalkan. Not difficult. But I think maybe there may be times when we don't see each other for a while.
Mm.
How do you feel about that?
I think might have said this before, but I'm not gonna chain you here just to make me happy. If I know that what you're doing is for this child, then I'm okay with that, as long as you let me know that you're safe. And you occasionally come and we can go to the beach together.
Yeah. I like that.
Eek. No, it's dark.
No.
I can't get
You're
the light
just-
back. No.
You're just pixels. Is it broken? Is it?
No, hold on. That's better. Haha. I
Haha.
had to stand up.
Loran says, like I said, I know what you're like. And he kind of
What
takes
did
your
you say
hand.
about me?
He says, and takes your hand and says, I don't want things to change between us. I like how things are now. Maybe with a little bit less running for our lives and saving the world, but between us, I mean. I like where things are now. But they probably will change. And I want us to be able to talk about that. When we're back and stable somewhere, wherever that is, for as long as that is. Let's just be open with each other about everything that we feel. No half-truths. Definitely no lies, but I didn't expect that from you at all. And no hiding our feelings.
I'll really try. I don't think anything will change the way that I feel, but I know the way I act sometimes is I'm still learning many things. Even with Neff, Bluey, and Slya. I never want to change the way I act around them either, but I'm used to people not being close to me or being in my life for a very short period of time, and it's hard to shake that feeling, no matter how close you are to someone, to think that it's all going to go away. But I'll try.
I think by this point, Loran is just kind of like laid down on his side of the bed and is just like staring at you from across, and it's just like this, like it's like a conversation you'd have. Like it's quite intimate, but like without intimacy in a way. It's like you bearing your hearts to each other, and he recognizes how big that is for you. Then he kind of just holds your hand for a bit. And you just kind of look at each other, and he says, "God, I didn't realize that doing this means that the person I'm going to have the most contact with this pretty much the whole time is Sarza. How will I live? I'm not even joking. I'm genuinely concerned.
Sarah is a lovely man,
I know.
but
And
I
he's a
know
great
that you two
bro.
are different.
Yeah.
Just give each other space.
Yeah. We'll be all right.
Try not to set anything of his on fire. I don't think he'll like that.
Well, one thing, just for fun.
As long as it's not a cactus. I spend a great deal of time making those for him.
Yes, I know. I don't forget. Can I have a dahlia?
Brian just looks around like, and then makes one for him. Do you not like my cactus? I could make you a terrarium too.
No. He kind of takes the dahlia and he says, I put all of these in my secret chest.
Where's that?
Traces a symbol in the air. He's like, watch, and just opens it and just flowers like.
Oh, it's so many by now. It's so
many. You're like,
ah! Wow. Maybe I should think of a new flower, but I like
this is how much you love me. Look upon it, Ulster, with both of your eyes. Feast upon the love. He just starts throwing just like you. Love! Love!
Away.
More love.
Brian starts pushing it back into the
He pulls you back. No, you cannot get away. And you're just like sitting there on your bed, covered in flowers, covered in dahlias, laughing and cringing, but like in the best way. But it's a bit sad because, not sad, but there's a melancholy. Because you know this is coming to an end soon. Or a pause. And what that brings, what you'll find in that time you spend, you don't know. But you have this moment now. And Loran just lies there with you. Fade to black. Fade to black. One more thing for you, Ulster, and then I think we'll wrap up. Because I've got to go over to my friend's house to, stay with them. Slumber party.
Dudes, if this is month 1, it's going to take us.
I'm kind of
6 sessions.
Goddamn, yeah.
It won't take that long because this one we started off with. It's first of all, it's a short session. We started late, and also we started off with an hour of like.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay. Ulster, you say your goodbyes to Loran.
He gives him like a hug, and then when Loran tries to get away, like he drags Ulster a bit with him, and then eventually he lets go.
It's like a reverse of the night before, where he was like pulling you further towards him and pelting you with flowers. Except this time he's trying to leave, and you're like, no. But
except his expression is very deadpan. He doesn't even.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. Like a cat, like just kind of like claws in, like
no.
But you watch him go, and there's a. How do you feel when you watch him leave?
He's probably trying to keep very stoic, but it's sad. He hasn't been parted from Loran for a long time, so he probably needs some alone time.
There's a kind of moment where, like, watching him go, you remember those feelings, what it was like without him before, how you were before, and it's lonely. There's a feeling of loneliness there.
God damn, Emma.
I know. But then you feel a pat on your shoulder, and then you hear like a Ulster from both sides. And Aaron is like looking down at you, smiling, and Alexa is beside you, and he's like, "So, where does our research take us next?"
Where does the research take them next?
Lachey.
Is it we're up to Lachey? Okay.
Yep. I briefly mentioned it before, but this is where you sort of start.
I have many notes on this time skip.
Yes. Okay. And you look over your other shoulder, and Aaron says, "You know, it's going to be difficult to be apart from each other, but I think, love transcends the planes." How is that?
Philosophical for you.
I read it somewhere. I'm not at all creative.
You ever been in love, Aaron?
No. I wonder if I ever will be.
Fair enough.
I mean, I feel like I'm open to dating, but it's just I haven't found anyone.
And you don't have to. Aaron, you're valid as you are.
Thank you. And he looks like, do you know anyone? No.
You would really have to be very specific on your taste. I know many people, but they are quite esoteric.
Ah. Okay. I'll think about it. Yeah. Library?
Library.
And you guys head back to the library. I know what you're researching. You're looking into Lachey, and I've posted a brief summary of some of the notes that you find, and in your Ulster timeskip document.
See.
And I will tell you. Just roll me an intelligence check real quick.
It's a 14. I have to get my character sheet up. I think it's a +3.
Yeah, 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where you kind of like with this, and actually you can actually roll with an investigation with advantage to look for your materials because the others are helping you. Oh, sorry, I said intelligence. I meant investigation.
Okay. With advantage, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake.
19. Sorry. 19.
Good. Okay, even better than before. So with that roll, I'm gonna say in this first day, you find the materials. A lot of the ones which are more obvious, where you would first look, journals and letters, ledgers, which might give you some insight into the history of the Maasai and the Lachey's connection with it and your own family tree. But in this day, you do not have quite enough time to look through it all. But you have your books taken out of the library with a 2 weeks due date. And you bring them back to your room and then off to Corvius, as usual. Your day ends without Loran, but occupied with your research, knowing that he won't be gone for long, and knowing that slowly but surely, you guys are both making strides to find Valis.
We
and
forgot. He sends Shu with Loran.
Yeah, Shu goes with Loran. But
Just an afterthought.
So no. We decided that Shu was gonna stay with you until the wedding, and then from there they would go. Yeah, because Loran was like, I don't feel good leaving you alone here, so she will stay vigil by your side.
Also, I don't want to feed your cat.
I don't want to feed your cat. But from that point, Loran and Sarza take on Shu as their third companion. Ow. Terrible cramp. That was painful. I'm fine.
Deep breaths.
And you all lived happily ever after.
The end of the DC.
The end of the DC, because the DM dies from having a terrible
Well, that was a fun
cramp
campaign,
drinking
guys.
too much juice too quickly.
Oh no.
Ow!
And grapefruit juice as well.
I love grapefruit juice.
It's gonna sting your insides after a while.
Yeah. All right. So, Ulster, is there anything you'd like to share with the others about your first month? What you learn, who you speak to, sendings, anything at all?
Let me just give a quick and brief read. Oh, at the end of the month, he finds out that Sarah's found Nakia, which is a point that could be interesting for you guys.
Yep.
Do you want me to share the Shay information? Because it's not.
You find this out over time, so
Okay.
maybe at month 3, once we've covered all of those, then we'll share everything.
Okay. He starts learning Celestial because that's one of the languages of Shisul. And starts learning alchemy, which will gradually become a skill of his, so he might be able to make healing potions.
Hey now,
But otherwise,
you're an alchemist.
Yeah.
Hey now, you're an alchemist. But mostly, I think his big stuff happens in the later months. So, yeah, just the beginnings of something great.
Yeah, sowing the seeds. You also ask a question to the Mirror of Maybe.
Oh, which one was it? Oh,
Part
is it
1,
that one?
which we covered in the game, but you can
Which one are you referring to? Because I have a few.
Part 1 Karul question is what I've written here.
Okay, hold on. Because you see, we did the mirror questions at the.
Yeah, we did the mirror questions in our chat
At the end. Just gotta find it. Sorry. Do you have it, the notes? Because I can just.
I have it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling up in the chat to find it.
I just don't want to take too much time to find it because my handwriting is atrocious. Look at that.
Feel you, boy. That's mine too. Gosh, it's a little bit far back.
Yeah.
I should have just searched for it, but I feel like I'm so far now that I might as well just.
He asked a
Made
few
it.
questions. Oh, you guys are gonna get the really tragic one. Oh well.
Are you sure?
On
Oh,
Wednesday.
fucking hell. I just. Fuck off, Emma. Well, I'm just gonna look mirror questions.
And Aaron's random traits are he is domineering, opinionated, spontaneous. Yes.
He'd make a fun
Emma
Monopoly
got those
player.
randomly.
Yep.
True. Oh, and Corvius is half Taoshiri, which is
Got it.
another interesting point.
This page isn't available. The link. Oh my gosh, why is it? This happened to me with Nef's.
Yeah.
Link
Which
as
is
well.
weird because when I was downloading the file that I sent, it's still downloaded, so I decided to just send you the text for it because I don't know what's going on.
I can't open it, and I think it means I won't be able to open the actual.
I can try and remember.
Right. Do you know what? We'll cover that one at the beginning of next session. I'll just make a note of it.
Oh gee.
Okay.
Thank you, Emma, very much for
Thank
the
you.
wonderful
Very
session
much.
as always.
It's all right.
Lots of love.
Thank you.
I also want
I'm
to take
sorry.
this quick time to give a quick shout out to Tainted Filth with a PHIL because he rated us earlier, or they rated us, I should say, with a bunch of viewers.
my-
So we had a fair few people watching this. First
Wait, we have
three
people
sessions.
watching
We
this?
got rated?
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh my god! I never
yeah.
realized that this.
The first
I
DC
forgot.
session.
I really forgot that we were streaming.
Yeah,
this.
we were like we had a peak of like 25
Stay-
people.
Oh,
What? That's pretty
Damn.
good.
What?
Stay
Look at the
tuned,
picture.
boys, to
I
find
think-
out about Loran and Saurus's and Bro Adventure.
It's very
I think I got
exciting.
an email notification of like, Barinade is
Oh, it's streaming, yeah.
now.
An
Thomas,
email.
I watched your world record the other day. I
Oh,
scanned.
did you?
Yeah, I watched it, and I was so wholesome at the end. How excited you got! I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
Thomas,
I was,
you did it."
Have you got a little plaque from Guinness?
Nah, I gotta wait for the thing to stand for a while, I think. But then we can submit a thing. Who knows?
Oh.
Emma, would you like
Yeah,
to
boy.
tell us when our next session is going to be for all the lovely people watching?
Yes, I would. Hello, everyone.
It's me.
Holy
Hello,
shit.
it's
It's got
me,
8 viewers.
Loranda. Oh my gosh, but what kind of it'd be kind of fun
Who's the
if it was
MC?
like a different NPC every week tells you what the next thing is gonna be. So
That's
now
pretty
it's
good, yeah.
Loran.
Oh my god.
Hello, it's me, your husband, Loranda Hain. I'm speaking directly to Ulster apparently. On next.
It's just also watching next week. Well, technically,
What's
this
that you want me to do? Tell you when our next D&D session will be? I can certainly do this for you. Oh, I hate it. No, when is it? Next. Wait, are we
Wednesday.
going to stream the Wednesday one? Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday at time
9 p.m.
Madam
Australian
Secretary?
time.
Yeah, 9 p.m.
9
Australian.
p.m. Australian time, 7 p.m. Japan time because that's here,
And anyway, what's
sometime
that your
Texas
time?
and sometime in
In the morning.
in the Twilight Zone,
And we
where
will have no
Aaron
Texas
exists by
viewers.
himself.
Yeah.
No, we don't want.
Twilight Zone
We
is
don't want to
exact-
wake them up.
Twilight. We don't want to wake them up.
Some early morning peeps.
No.
You never know, people might be staying up super late. Super late.
Or they get up for, early shifts at Starbucks.
True.
True. Starbucks is missing me. I haven't been there in 3 weeks.
You gotta go, boys. You gotta go.
I know, they got upset.
This is
Thomas, we have to go to
so
Starbucks on Wednesday.
Yeah, we do. We also. I need to. I'm so
get
sad.
letter paper
I lost
because
my.
I'm gonna
I
write.
lost my good pen. I don't know where I put it. Oh my god. My fountain pen that cost me
Your
$50.
Millie. Wait, this one. The one I used to write all of Ulster's stuff.
My Lammy one that I used for everything. I had a limited edition color, dude. They're not gonna have in stock. I'm so sad.
It's alright, Thomas. We can go check it out. I'm also going to get letter paper so I can write Brian's prop letter because I couldn't find any cute letter paper.
It's gonna be heckin' good.
There's so much cute letter paper in Japan.
Thanks,
it's
Emma.
great. You're welcome. I'll send you guys stuff.
Send us some physical
Oh.
letters. That'd be
I want to
cool
use my
as.
wax sealing kit. If Brian ever writes a letter to you guys, I will actually write the letter and then I will make the seal because he has a seal. Did I show you guys the seal? Give me 1 second.
Yep. Can I also really quickly show you I've expanded my collection of space-themed fabric.
This is destroying the webcam, but this looks great.
Space-themed
pretty.
fabric 1. Space-themed fabric 2. The other 3 aren't in this room. And then space-themed fabric number... I don't know. I have too many.
These are all nice. These
Let's
are
see.
all really cute.
Just like me. Let's see that seal, boy!
I got this kit. I think I only showed Emma. Thomas was there when I bought it, but I
Mm.
showed Emma. I got this sealing kit for like wax. So if you look on the inside, it's got like a whole kit to seal letters with. But then they had special seals, so you could choose your own seal. And I found this one, which is like, I hope you can see it. It's like a
Mm.
flower, but it's a snowflake. So
There we
that
go,
could
yeah.
be Brian's personal seal. Not his royal
good.
seal, just his
That could be
personal
a
seal.
fun flag design for Brian if he becomes king. But
Hell
also,
yeah, dude.
That's really
you know the word
cool.
for seal, for sticker in Japanese is seal. Shiru.
Shit.
There you go. Shiru. Anyway.
Oh, Emma, what color wax do you want? Because I have
What colour
three.
options are there?
There's a blue one, a red one, and a silver one.
Silver, obviously, because it's Brian.
Silver. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Alright, I have to go head to my friend's house.
Okay,
So
safe
I'm
trip.
going to go. Haven't rolled a single dice this session. I think that's a record for me as a DM. But I feel
I
like
didn't
we
even
won't
grab
be
my
having
dice.
too
actually.
many.
I was like, my dice.
Actually,
Well,
roll a
this
couple.
is mostly RP because we want. I feel like the only bad thing about a time skip is that you don't have a lot of option or chances to see what the other people did, even though it's a long time. But
Hmm.
it was kind of necessary so that we could like pursue
is
the
fun.
threads we wanted to pursue. Yeah, I liked.
I like to
this.
see what everyone's doing. And Anna, I was going to say earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt again because I was getting so outraged about the flower. You really went ham on the RP there. I was very
I loved
impressed.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
I'm
good
so
stuff.
proud.
You made me
of you.
feel
It's
things.
it's a new one for me.
I thought you were going to say it's a. I was like,
It's a what? Sorry.
It's a what you cut out when you said that.
it's a gift.
It's a gift.
It is. I don't think it is.
It's a gift.
I wrote down in a Word document like.
Maybe it's
I want to
natural.
say these
Maybe it's
Oh,
just blue
you're right,
sparks.
yeah. Actually, writing down things in Word documents can lead to some very choice.
I was gonna
Dialogue.
say. I was gonna say some more heavy emotional things, but then I realized they're not canon compliant at all. So it's like, never mind.
Not canon compliant. I'm
I-
curious
I
now.
forgot things.
How did I get pen all over my hand?
I forgot things had happened. And I
What
was like,
what
oh
she
no.
means by not canon compliant is that she's actually things that she wanted to say to me. And obviously-
Ah.
That's just I can't do this to you. I can't come between you and your
Emma,
man.
I'm
Anna, we can't keep doing this.
And it
Oh,
chugs
okay.
water.
Yes, we can.
That can be
Like,
really
yeah,
awkward.
you-
No, my friend was role playing in D&D, and she was role playing with the DM, like a romantic thing. But the DM's girlfriend was sitting right next to her while they were doing it, and she was just like, hee hee.
Fun times.
Nah. I feel like if you're role playing like relationship stuff, you gotta just remember you gotta keep the things separate in your mind. Now
Yeah.
the fact that I marry every single one of you is the only thing that transcends into reality. You are all my husbands and wives.
Emma, I don't remember signing this contract.
I
It's
didn't
not in the
care.
fine print.
I like open my like Google Docs and zoom into like a piece of text
Oh,
that I've
no.
painted white so you can't see. It's like everybody officially marries me.
By reading this, you agree to
Oh,
marry
no.
me
By
forever.
reading this white text, you approve.
We all
Right.
got pranked, dude.
I'm slamming the gavel
Divorce.
of grape juice and saying I need to leave because
Alright.
I've got to go and
Much
sleep
love.
at my friend's
Thank
house.
you.
And
Bye.
Thanks,
Be
guys, for the awesome
viral.
session, as
thanks
always.
everyone who watched this. I
Yeah,
guess that's
thanks
what
to the
we have
viewers.
to do
We'll be back
now.
soon.
Follow me on Twitter, lol.
You're gonna shout your Twitter out.
Instagram, like and subscribe. I don't hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Make sure to check the notification bell.
Oh my gosh. Smash it.
Oh my goodness
Get
gracious.
smash 3 likes on this video,
Roll,
guys.
roll to hit that notification bell.
Roll to hit. What's the armor class of the notification bell?
Let's find
It's,
out.
every time you roll, it's a nat
6.
20. It's a nat 6. Yeah, if you roll lower than roll a dice. If you roll above a 6, you're allowed to subscribe.
You're allowed to
You're
subscribe.
allowed.
I rolled a 5, so I'm not allowed to subscribe.
Wait, hang on. I want to know because I just want to know.
No, I rolled pretty
I will
well.
use Loran's dice.
Lauren.
I want a 2. None of us are subscribed. I just go and unsubscribe to Thomas.
You guys are not allowed to watch the sessions
Aylin,
anymore.
who rolled a natural
Nat 20! Aylin, you can
Aylin
subscribe
is, like,
twice!
pulling it out for all of us.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, dudes. This has been great.
Thank you.
I'll see you all next game.
Thank you.
Thank you so
See you
much for.
Wednesday.
Bye-bye,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
We'll be back
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.